I always tell people, you have no idea, like the Mueller probe, which you just mentioned there. I was not a target, but yet I had to hire lawyers who went through countless pages of notes and emails, charging thousands of dollars an hour to sit there for, I don't know what it was, 8, 9, 10 hours, something like that. The impact that has, and that was the thing. It was, we are going to squeeze you all. We're going to hit you financially. I've explained to people, when you get called up to Congress, and you've mentioned the testimony that you gave, there's lawyers, they all get paid. They've got expenses. They've got paralegals. There's copying expenses, all this stuff. The impact that has. And you're right. I mean, they're going after you to say, okay, let's figure out when you'll say mother. Just, we're going to squeeze you. We're going to squeeze you. We're going to squeeze you. What impact did that have on you? I mean, someone who's been in the game, as you mentioned, for 40 plus years, you're thinking to yourself, I play hard. I make no excuses about that, but I've never seen the government come. I mean, they were literally about to put you in jail. I can't. I mean, walk me through what that was like personally for you to say, you've got to be kidding me.
Well, first of all, I knew there was no Russian collusion. I knew I hadn't colluded with any Russians. I knew that they had sent a Russian to come see me, but he turned out to be an FBI informant, and it was a setup. By the way, I sent him packing. I wasn't interested in whatever it was he was trying to sell me, allegedly dirt on Hillary Clinton. The whole meeting lasted 2 minutes. And then we found out he was an FBI informant, and he'd been authorized by the Miami office of the FBI to even be in the country. No, the morning of January 25th, 2019, when at 6 o'clock in the morning, 29 heavily armed FBI agents brandishing fully automatic M4 assault weapons surrounded and assaulted my home to arrest me for the first time nonviolent crime of allegedly lying to Congress was pretty shocking. By the way, Sean, the special counsel's office had talked to my lawyers the very day before. We turned over 35 pages of text messages, which actually proved that I was telling the truth, that I had received nothing of interest or of value from WikiLeaks and passed it on to no one, but they didn't care. So that was all orchestrated right along with the CNN cameras, 25.
But by the way, can you just elaborate? So it's 7 a.m. and CNN just happens to be there, right? I mean, in Fort Lauderdale, where I was like, you've got, they coordinated this.
Well, in fact, we know that. Here's why. I was actually arrested at 6:06. At 6:11, a woman with CNN texted my lawyer a warrant for my arrest. But the warrant for my arrest was still sealed. It wasn't unsealed until 10:30 that morning. And the document she sent had no court stampings on it or timestamps. But when you looked at the metadata tags, you had the initials of the man who wrote it, Andrew Weissman, one of the Mueller prosecutors. Therefore, it is logical to see that it was he who illegally leaked my arrest and search warrants to CNN. CNN got an award, by the way. They claim that they just happened to be there on the basis of a hunch. No, they were there because they were tipped. And once again, the purpose was to intimidate me into giving false testimony against Donald Trump. I was arrested in January. By July, they were saying to me, look, through my lawyers, look, if you will simply say that these 26 cell phone calls between you and candidate Trump in 2016 pertain to Russia or WikiLeaks or whatever it was they wanted me to say, well, we'll tell the judge, we'll advise her not to give you any jail time. I refused that. I would not do that, was not going to lie no matter what. And thank God the president answered my prayers, saw that I was a victim, that I had actually done nothing wrong. There is no Russian collusion or WikiLeaks collaboration to lie about. I was targeted to try to get at Donald Trump. And yes, he commuted my sentence. And then I got a full and complete and unconditional presidential pardon. But Sean, don't try to find that on the internet. It's exceedingly difficult to find, as if it didn't even happen.
The last week or whatever it was, maybe a week and a half ago, Alan Weisselberg, the former CFO of the Trump Organization, turned himself in at 7 a.m. and CNN had a camera in that court outside the courtroom. And I'm like, it's the same. It's just like with Roger Stone. The thing that's so interesting, by the way, you mentioned Andrew Weissman. Of course, he's now employed by CNN. The thing that's so interesting, though, we've talked about them going after Trump, but by going after people like you and by going after all the people they did in the Mueller probe, and since then, I believe that it's an extension of going after Trump, which is the following. He's running for re-election. He's actually now the front runner. And I think everything that we've seen so far, there's no reason why he won't win big. I think what they're trying to do is intimidate the next wave of people that says, hey, don't go work for this guy. We'll bankrupt you. We'll put you in jail. We'll threaten you with jail. But God knows we'll still rack up so many legal fees on you that you'll be in trouble. This is the next iteration. They're saying, well, okay, Trump's got money. He can defend himself. But the Roger Stones, the Sean Spicers, the Bob Smiths, and the Sammy so-and-sos, don't think twice about whether you want to work for this guy in the campaign or in government, because we're going to get you.
Sean, you're absolutely right. Look, my wife and I lost everything. We lost our home. We lost our savings. We lost most of our insurance. We lost my ability to travel. I lost my ability to speak. I'm the only person, I think, in the history of American jurisprudence who was gagged before my trial, during my trial, and then I remained gagged after my trial. So I was never afforded an opportunity to defend myself. Yet CNN, MSNBC, the usual suspects continue to rip me as a traitor to my country, as a Russian intelligence asset, which is nonsensical. But I never had a chance to tell my side of the story, which is why I'm so grateful for this opportunity to tell people what actually happened. But yeah, they target you, not because it has nothing to do with you. I'm not that important. It was about going after Donald Trump and doing anything necessary to try to bring him down. And right now, they're more apoplectic. They're even more hysterical because they can see that he's on the comeback trail. And I agree with you. I think there's a very high probability that he's going back to the White House, and they don't quite know what to do about it.
Well, I just hope when he gets back, because I say this with all due respect to the president, because it wasn't just him. I think when we walked in that first day, we assumed that there was a sense that, okay, he won. The voters have spoken. We're going to move the agenda forward. The resistance from so many of these people in government to leak on him. I mean, I remember, was it the first 24, 48 hours, the private conversations with both the prime minister of Australia and then the prime minister of Mexico, the president of Mexico, were leaked out in full, the full transcript. And I'm thinking to myself, there's only so many people that have access. This isn't a widely trafficked transcript. There's a phone call and the Situation Room types it up for posterity. And this thing's getting out. And I'm thinking to myself, what are we about to face? These people at the highest levels of government are going to take them out at the knees. And I hope that because he has seen the movie before now, can come in and say, nope, nope, nope. And I'm cutting these guys off and bringing in some new people, because that's the only way. I think the nice thing is he's going to get a jump on this day one, know exactly who he can trust, who he can't, what needs to get reformed.
Yeah, he's a much wiser Donald Trump today than he was when he first became president. It was not unreasonable to believe that, as had happened every other time in our history, that the nation would unite around the new president and that Republicans would work with Democrats to move the country forward. I think he never understood that a large segment of people within our own party were out to remove him just about the time he got elected. But I saw this just last week. There's a new report that CIA Director John Brennan had essentially coordinated with the intelligence agencies of 5 foreign countries, the English-speaking countries, in order to surveil and bump, that means entrap, 26 individual supporters of President Donald Trump. And it turns out that the president ordered all the documents that prove this declassified before he left office, but none of them were declassified because those in the deep state or those in the permanent bureaucracy feel that they can just ignore a presidential order and there are no consequences. So I agree with you. If he returns, as I believe he's going to, he absolutely must clean house at the intelligence agencies, certainly at the Justice Department, and he needs new people who are committed to the rule of law. They talk constantly about the rule of law while they go out and violate the Constitution and the law. Everything they say is backwards. Donald Trump is not a threat to democracy. Joe Biden and his thugs are a threat to our constitutional republic.